Okay, welcome to the Sports Novice Show. This is episode 3. Again, we got my man,
AJ.
we got my man
Jay.
and we got my man AD or A-Dub. Like I said, welcome to the show. Please like, share, subscribe, make comments. Again, we're gonna open the floor. We're gonna start today's show with a little bit of NBA.
So last night, this is supposed to be rivalry week. I looked at some of the games and I'm like, I don't really know that's a rivalry, but anyway, whatever. But one that's definitely a rivalry was Golden State and the Lakers last night.
Okay.
And so Steph and LeBron's in season 21, Steph's in 15 or 16. And Steph they went to double overtime. First time they've ever had a overtime, let alone double overtime.
Mhm.
Steph had 46. LeBron had 36 and triple double.
Mhm.
And at the end of the game, if you didn't see it, the thing that people always used to say, especially Skip Bayless, used to say LeBron doesn't want to at the end. He's afraid to get fouled. He doesn't want to shoot the free throws. Takes it to the basket, down 1, gets fouled, goes to the line, 1.2 seconds left. Ooh.
Nice.
2 free throws. He looked like Steph shooting those free throws. I was like, yeah, Brian, that's what I'm talking about. But at the end of the game, again, it ended up being a great game. At the end of the game, LeBron and Steph are dapping each other up, hugging. I think that bothers the old heads, right?
Yes, it does.
So speak to that a little bit, right?
Yes.
I mean, they battled it out. People say, they don't play any defense. Nobody really cares. I could definitely tell they wanted to win. Both teams wanted to win that game. But does it bother you at the end when they were hugging it out?
Well, I'll say this, okay. Anybody plays any sports in the heat of battle, you do your thing, you talk trash, you call people's mom's name to get them, riled up to try to get them out of the game. To a certain extent, I would always be like, look, after the game, we gonna dap up, but I'm moving on. I'm not your friend. You play for the other team. I mean, that's kind of how I was raised. And to give an example, my cousin will love this. But my cousin went to not a rival high school, but another high school in the county. Right. When we lost that game to him, I was so hot. Oh God, I was there. I didn't even want to talk to him at the end of the game. So, that's part of that being, I think that's part of being super competitive. You don't want to lose, and I definitely don't want to look in your face when I lose. That's just me. That's I was always the guy. If Allen was winning, I wanted to beat Allen, or Jay was winning, I wanted to beat Jay. I didn't want to go join him. And I think that's another thing that bothers old heads. Why go be part of a super team when you can build your own? But, that's just my take. That's coming from a super competitive background. And, again, at the end of the game, I'm going to high five you, but I'm not going to exchange your jersey. I'm not going to buy your jersey. That's just me. I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm going to beat that guy.
Right.
But
Do you think, regarding that, let's take it a little deeper, but do you think players nowadays, or just young and upcoming players, do you think they study how LeBron has moved regarding the NBA and hey, I do want to play with this guy in college because that'd be a great business move for me, or whatever the case may be?
Well, I think some of the changes to the collegiate game, it started with the one and done, right? Or because remember, they could come out of high school and go play NBA.
Right.
They changed that rule for money purposes in my mind. But you have the one and done, and then now you have the NIL. So, those 3 things in itself, I think not compress the game. And and another part of that is the fact that you have AAU ball, so you have all these kids playing with one another all across the country. Before you played ball basically in your area, in your area, like most, so if you were in the Southeast, you played against kids in the Southeast. Now you fly out to California, you fly to Maine, you're Texas, you're all over the place playing against all kinds of talent, so you get not was a maturation, but you get a coming together of, kind of like the 5-5, right? Hey, I'm going to Michigan, you go to Michigan, you know, so
Yeah.
they're recruiting each other to play. And I think the NIL is going to play a big part in that coming, you know, moving forward, because if you can get 5 McDonald's All-Americans, #1 at their role to go to one school, the NIL money is going to be ridiculous.
So, yeah, so I don't even think it has, the NIL money
Mhm.
is secondary, because I think, again, it started long time ago when
Yeah.
you could, you know, AAU,
Yeah.
when you can put together your own team,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And then when they started getting these super AAU teams where they were getting the best player from here,
Yeah.
flying them in,
Yeah.
putting them on the same team. And then you start getting relationships with these dudes.
Yeah, you
And
do.
then you're like, yo, man, where you going to college? Oh, I'm going to Duke. Oh, yeah, they're looking at me too. We can go there together.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and so I think that's even before LeBron
Before LeBron.
moving around or whatever.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, just the whole like empowerment
Yeah.
Yeah.
now of the players. Back in the day, you get drafted someplace, that's where you were,
That's where you
because
gonna
there's no
stay.
free agency.
You're
You
gonna
didn't have a
stay.
choice whether you liked them or not, whether you,
Yep.
you know, so, but these guys, again, they got so many interests outside of sports. They got so much stuff they got going on business wise
Yeah.
together. So even though they want to win, they want to beat each other on the court,
Mhm.
man, you're still my guy, because we've got commercials together. We're
Right.
still, you know, we're investing in this company together.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I said, I watched that game.
Mhm.
You know, it had a playoff vibe to me.
Yeah.
They were both going at it, bam, bam, bam.
Mhm.
Both teams, you know, neither one of them wanted to lose.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we know that they have a mutual respect for each other.
Yeah.
We know that they don't hate each other. You know, there's players that were on, you know, like Paul Pierce.
Oh.
Him and LeBron hated each other, right?
Like
Or at least
each
Paul Pierce hated LeBron,
Yeah.
you know.
They
But
don't like each other at all.
yeah, so there's people that just legitimately don't like each
Yeah.
other. And so you're not really going to see that with them.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Steph and LeBron, you know, they've had these big battles, but they legitimately like each other.
Yeah.
So, you know, I didn't have a problem with it, because I could see in the game
Mhm.
they were going at it, but I could tell how people were probably, you know, old heads were probably
Oh, yeah.
going in on it. You know, I can't believe after the game, you just lost and now you hugging me.
I'm not talking. to
Yeah.
you.
And
Yeah.
then you talked about the score,
Yeah.
and that's the big topic this week. Everybody's scoring all these high number games. Luka, you got Embiid.
The other dude.
EJ Washington
had-
just had
yeah.
49.
Who?
EJ
What's his
Washington
name again? What? Who's his
Book.
name?
just had 60 something. Even last night, Steph had a large amount.
46.
Ron had, you know, what he normally does on a regular occasion.
What did Bron have?
He had 36.
Yeah,
Yeah, triple
36.
double.
Triple
Yeah.
double, okay.
That, I mean, is the defense not playing? What type of defense are we playing this week?
So look, I watched.
Olay.
Okay, so if you watch, I think there's two things, right? Again, there was a stat I saw, and it was like there've been in the last like 12 months, there's been 8 guys get 60,
Mm-hmm.
and then they showed like, you know, 8 years.
Yeah.
You had 8 guys get, or maybe more than that, longer than that, back in the, you know, 90s.
Mhm.
Again, the game is different. You know, it is, offense is definitely emphasized more.
God,
You know,
yes.
the rules have made it so that, you know, they don't want teams beating each other up. They don't want superstars getting punched in the face and being on the, you know, laying on the
That's
ground.
the best part.
Yeah, but not when you're trying to market the game. I get that part.
That's the best part.
There's got to be like a,
They're warriors.
yeah, but it's just like with the NFL. You don't want your quarterback
Yeah.
laid out.
Here we go. I don't know. Who is it? Is it the
But-
other team's quarterback?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
exactly. Well, true. But so they've definitely made they made the game centered around offense,
Mhm.
and that's clear, right? I won't say they're not playing any defense. I'm gonna say, just like with pickup games you see everywhere, it's more like I got this offensive package, right? This is what I do.
Yeah.
And you're guarding me. You're not guarding me like it's game 7 of the NBA.
Yeah, because it is
You're kind
regular
of,
season.
yeah, you're kind of like, oh, let me see what you got. And I'm doing this, and you're kind
contesting
of
it,
there, yeah.
yeah.
And then I hit my shot. Okay, that's nice. Coming down, I'm gonna do the same thing. All right, let me see what you got.
Yeah.
And it's become a lot more like that, I
Mm.
feel like. But these dudes are so skilled.
Yeah.
I don't care what kind of defense you play. These dudes are gonna score.
And some of these dudes don't even see you on defense. They so tall.
Well,
You know, like I'll get point guards point guards being 6'9",
Yeah,
that's starting to become normal.
that is.
But let me ask you an interesting question.
Okay.
Because me and you've had a discussion about it. I have yet to see Wilt's 100-point game.
Oh, come on, man.
But give me 5 players currently in the league that could exceed Wilt's 100.
Okay, nobody's getting 100.
That ain't gonna happen.
I don't think that's gonna happen. Kobe had what 81,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
you can say what you want about that defense. No, they were like, "Dang, Kobe's going off." Let's see what just like Kobe's last game when he had 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, he scored all those points. He took a lot of shots to get it, which is no problem. But again, these dudes are super skilled, right? There's guys that will go off and score 60, 70, like you said. But 100, I don't see it happening. But Embiid, Giannis, I mean, heck, Steph
Yeah.
can get hide it from 3 and light it up. Luca could probably score, KD maybe. But those are the ones that just off the top of my head that I think could score 60, 70, like
Is KD the best offensive scorer ever?
best ever. I don't think he's the best ever, but I don't think we've ever seen anybody like him because he's basically a 7'2" guard.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he's got handles and he's right. He's not posting anybody up. He's not, he's not really driving to the basket. He's just facing you up and
Into a
shooting
spot,
whatever
yeah.
shot he wants
Over you.
because he's 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
So imagine any 2 guards you want, whatever skill set they have, now make them 7 feet tall.
Right, but isn't it crazy that he hasn't had a high scoring game in that sense?
It's because all his games are, he's averaging 30.
He averaged 30.
And, I think if he was cooking and you just kept feeding him, he could probably, I mean, he's one of those guys that could do it. I mean, but these guys can all score.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you'll get a guy that you wouldn't even think.
Walker.
And you're like, how did he get 60?
See, what
I mean,
that? Walker.
Clay got 60 and never dribbled the ball more than one time. I mean, he was just catch, shoot.
Yeah,
Like he didn't even have to dribble the ball. Like when you're that hot and when you're that, you get that many shots off, like
you're on.
yeah. And these dudes they're just so skilled. I mean, like I think the offensive game has evolved so much. And yes, the game is catered to the offense.
Yes, it is.
So those two things together,
So would the defense aspect ever catch up?
they'll have to change the rules.
Yes, I was about to say that.
They'll have to change
That's
the
the only way. They'd have to change the rules
Yeah.
because like I said, in all sports, unfortunately, everybody likes to see the score clock go ding, ding,
Yeah,
ding,
yeah, yeah.
ding, ding. I mean, even think about it when we were coming up, to have 100-point game.
Oh yeah,
was
you were like, whoa,
rare.
you were on fire.
Rare, most of the games were 80, 70, you would win by 2 or 3. And that was, again, that's when they were clotheslining you coming through the middle. They were throwing their elbows in your face. There was blood squirting everywhere. And,
But you can't tell. So like you think of those teams that like the Knicks, I remember in the 90s.
The Knicks, the Pistons.
It wasn't pretty basketball,
Right.
but it was tough and it was gritty. But again, it's a different era. People aren't trying to kill people, except for Draymond. But
Sorry.
well, old Draymond, I think he's over that now. But
He went to a few sessions.
yeah. He had some trainings. I mean, some sessions.
Coaching and counseling.
Exactly. Yeah, I think he's over that now. But you take those teams and these teams we have now, it's just a different, it's just
Basically,
different.
they're bigger, faster,
Yeah.
stronger, and more talented, whereas
You
those
can't,
guys.
those dudes aren't scoring like
Yeah.
John Starks ain't scoring 60.
He ain't getting the ball, actually.
He's just not.
Right.
So-
Yeah, that's the sad part about it. But again, that's all the maturation sports. The
Yeah.
more you know, the better you train, the better you become. And again,
Yeah.
I mean, especially think about it. I think training for kids now. I mean, literally, they're paying basketball at 5, 6.
Oh, yeah, no doubt,
With
no
real
doubt.
training, with cone drills and resistance and, no weight training, but like I said, definitely with that skill set. So, so that's the change, back in the day, again, they're, and they not, and of course, and the money plays a part into this too, in the marketing. You get back in the day, right, in the off season, there was off season, they weren't training in their off season, you could tell they weren't training in their
Right.
off season. You could look at their body type till they weren't training. Season's over, I'm gonna go eat bonbons and chill on the beach, and I'm just gonna go home. Now you train in I'd say you probably train in 9 months out of the year, because when the season ends, you get 2 weeks off and you start back.
Yeah.
So their bodies have to be conditioned. So again, they're better athletes, better shape, better food, better this, but like I said, it's going to, again, the way the game is moving, everybody likes to see the scoreboard go ding, 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 ding. Even in a college game, ding, 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 ding. Because you remember the Big East. Big East used to replicate the NBA game. Tough, hard-nosed basketball, man-to-man defense. Nobody played zone.
Except for Syracuse.
Yeah, Syracuse and its famous 2-3
Yeah.
matchup zone. So like I said, what year did they allow zone in the NBA?
I can't remember, but
So,
yeah, it's
so when that happened, that's when they started to swing toward more offense. Because I mean, me personally, I enjoyed the bad boy era with what do you call that guy? I can't remember his name. John Sally and
Rodman,
Rodman,
Sally,
Sally,
Rick Mahorn, Lambeer.
Lambeer, and all those guys, and of course the New York teams with Mason and Ewing and
Yep.
Starks and all
Oakley.
those guys, and Oakley. Oh, Oakley was the enforcer. So that's how I came up. Guys coming through the middle. Oh, hey, but of course the scores were 79, 60. This was a blowout if you won by 12.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, I watched the Miami Heat. I think I texted you guys. I said, I think the Miami Heat just got blew out by 20. It was like 100 to 130.
Yeah.
I mean, so again, it is geared toward offense, and that's just the way it goes. So
Yeah.
nobody wants to see the scoreboard go 2,
Right.
2,
Exactly.
4, but of course that goes back to the beginning of basketball. And they had to invent the shot clock, because
Yeah.
they would just hold the ball.
Exactly. But again, I think that, the myth that they don't play any defense, I think that's a myth. I think if you watch, especially these contested games.
Yeah.
They're trying, the people are out there contesting shots. Dudes are just making crazy shots, man, shooting from places they never shot from before.
Yeah.
And just making shots. And in the playoffs, I definitely think people play defense.
Well, they definitely play defense in the playoffs. I mean, that's a given. I mean, but that's where you see the change, right? Remember, was it me and Jay were talking about the Boston Celtics game a couple years ago, and everybody was going right. And I was like, bro, if I can see this, I don't play basketball like that. I said, this is the only game they're going to win, because everybody's going to the right. They're going to force them to the left and make them shoot with their left hand. And what happened 4 games straight? They forced them to the left. Everybody. Yeah, you can drive by me, but you're shooting with that left hand. And what was the score? They won, what was it? It was a Golden State they were playing?
Yes.
Yeah, Golden State, because they won in Golden State. And then they came back and lost 4 straight. That was it. So it's just wow.
That's a very.
I mean, like I said, but the defense, like I said, but that's the difference. And Miami, okay, I'm a Heat fan, forgive me. Right? How did the 8 seed end up in the championship game? Defense. They make you grind it out. That's in every playoff scenario, the high flying team, the finesse team, when they meet a very physical team, and no matter what the sport is, it tends to go the way to the physical guys, because they're like, because they're just beating you up.
Well, it's just because everything slows down in the playoffs,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because
that's
every possession means
Every
more.
means
Yeah.
more.
You
Pressure.
can't be
Matchup.
as loose
Yeah.
as you are, matchups, and then, it's just, then it's execution, who
Mhm.
gets tight in the tight moments, and you're right, in the defense.
And the defense,
And
they
when you
great.
got dudes like Jimmy Butler,
Body,
who's
body in
like
your
his whole thing is the playoffs, right?
I just want to hit you.
Yeah, and
I just want to body hit.
Yeah.
But that's how they won it, because honestly, last year I said they were the AC, they're going against Giannis, they're gonna beat the Breeze. And like, oh no, they beat what? They beat who?
Yeah.
And they beat Philadelphia. I'm like, oh my God, this is just, as we say, we're playing with house money.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be here. But when they got to the championship game, I was like, oh, they about to get housed.
Yeah.
They're like, what do you mean? I said, they have no defense for that. I'm sorry. I said, they're going to lose. If they win one game, it'll be a miracle.
Yeah.
But.
And along those lines, right?
Mhm.
So the big men we have now,
Oh,
they're
very
doing
skilled.
stuff. They're doing Jokic and Embiid and
Yeah, my God.
even, Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
These
What's that,
7-footers are doing Wembyana,
What's the
Chet
guy in,
Holmgren,
yes,
7-foot dudes that are doing stuff that
Reed,
only
Nas read it in
only-
Minnesota as well.
Yeah.
guards could, you know what I'm saying? Only 2 guards can do.
Chet.
Yeah.
So that goes back to the training all. Literally, you got 9 months. I'm sorry, not 9 months. You got all year to train, and they train with the best because, it would be like me going, if I say I want to be a coach, who do I want to learn from? Basketball coach. Let's say I want to learn from the best basketball coach. I'm gonna go talk to Pat Riley,
Okay.
at least. I'm gonna go talk to Phil Jackson, at least. Those are the guys. I want to talk to the greats so I can be great. So if you have the greats training you, could you imagine? Oh my God, I'm being trained by, let's say, Paul Malone, or better yet, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and all these other greats when they say, no, your foot's in the wrong place. When he does this, you drop your foot here, right? Like I said, the technique behind it, when you shoot the ball, who was it? You showed me the clip where somebody was shooting Steph. Steph was shooting blindfolded.
Oh yeah, muscle memory is just crazy.
Muscle
Oh yeah,
memory.
Clay Thompson. It was Clay.
Muscle memory. I know I'm on this spot of the court. I can just shoot.
Yeah.
And I know where the goal is.
Yeah.
The guys back in the day,
Not so much.
not so much.
Yeah. But
You
just
know,
the
but-
fact that you got, 7-footers back in the day, you would have been a back-to-the-back center.
Mhm.
You wouldn't have left a 10-foot radius
Block.
in the block. But now dudes are, everybody wants their showing off their guard
Guard
skills.
Yeah,
And the fact that you turn in Anthony Davis, right?
Yeah.
He was a guard. He just kept growing. So now he's a 6'11" dude with guard skills.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to do that. So they're just so skilled, man. You look at
Yeah.
stuff Embiid's doing, they're just doing stuff that 7-footers and
Yeah,
centers just
shooting
never did before.
threes.
So if I was a big guy coming out of high school or in high school right now, and like you said, the center, the position is
Mhm.
becoming more
Athletic.
and more athletic and just more out of the norm. What would I need to add to my game, Alan? What do you see right now?
Well, again, everybody's got to be able to face the basket. You got to have handle, to be able to get to your spot
Yeah.
without like a bunch of screens or without, backing somebody down. Again, those dudes can back people down too, but
Yeah.
it's not as big a part of the game as it used to be. And they all can shoot threes, man. They all got, a step out game and if you come out on them, they got good enough handles where they can get to the basket.
Yeah.
So
Right by you.
So since the game has been evolutionized, different, so many different eras, though this is an essential part of the game, do you think the use of screens are going to start to diminish, being that guys want to do one-on-ones a lot?
Nah, because dudes are still using screens,
Yeah,
and getting switches.
Yeah.
That's never
Yeah,
leaving.
'cause that's more or less matchups.
Yeah.
And, high-low screens.
Yeah.
They use screens in every sport. Because it's about getting in the right matchup.
Yeah.
If I'm a 6'3" guard, you're a 6'9" guard, they're gonna run the screen to me. So I switch, and either I'm gonna go over it or under it. If I go under it, guess what he's gonna do? Gonna stop and pop. If I go over, then the guy's gonna roll, so he's gonna roll, and I'm gonna be stuck guarding a bigger dude.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's just basketball
that's
101.
just
That's never
strategy.
going
Yeah,
anywhere.
that's strategy.
Yeah.
That was like, I think I was watching a game a while ago. And this is just, what was it, college. And I was like, dude, and I forgot what they were running, but they were killing. I was like, dude, they were in a matchup zone, and I don't think they knew what they were doing. So shame on the coach. For real, it looked really bad. Because it's like the other team was literally picking their spots, when they wanted to shoot, how they wanted to shoot. I was just, like you said, I was like, are they playing defense? he's like, what would you do? I was like, man, well, I would have ran a box and one. At least have one guy on the point guard because he's coming up with no pressure and he's going.
They were just controlling the game.
He's controlling the, I mean, literally verbatim. And I was just like, if you guys score 20 points, you'll be lucky. But anyway. But yeah, like I said, I think the game is going to be, like I said, I think the game is going to move to, it's going to be a lot more faster, I think. The size of the athletes coming in. I mean, like I said, I don't know why, like I said, you can't grow height, you can't teach height.
Right.
So the bigger they get, the more athletic they become. So offense is definitely going to be key. I don't know about the defensive side of it, because I'm sure they practice defense too.
Yeah.
The question is, what can you do differently in basketball that hasn't been done before defensively? Either you're going to run a man concept or you're going to run a zone concept. So, and again, if I'm 6'3" and you're 7 foot, and especially if you got handles, it's going to be hard for me to guard you.
Yeah. And offense is going to trump the defense.
Yeah.
When, I can play great defense and you just make an impossible shot.
Yep.
Like there's not, I mean,
Off
you watch
the
these,
glass.
the guys that have like the, your Kobe's and your Jordans with those like patented moves. Those moves are like, Kareem Skyhook.
Yeah.
There's certain stuff that's just
Signatures, yep.
unstoppable. When they make it, you can play the best defense you want.
You got to deal with it.
And other than keeping them from getting the ball,
What is it?
which
Yeah,
is
so that's
really,
the shrug you have to do when you go back on defense.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
did you say? He said, I remember, what was the guy, Michael Finley, when he guarded Jordan? He said, I thought you were gonna stop him, dude. I held him to 30. What do you want me to do?
yeah.
I held him to 30.
Yeah, other than keeping them from touching the ball,
Yeah.
there's not much you can do. I mean, these dudes are just so good.
Yeah.
And again, you got to make it difficult on them,
Yeah.
but they're just so good.
How do you
So-
do that, right?
Is basketball on the offensive side of it? Well, just in general, you talked about the center position starting to evolve even more. Is basketball about to become positionless?
The good teams, I think, are almost positionless because they're just interchangeable.
Mm,
Because you end up with a team full of, everybody is 6'7" to 10, and they can all handle the ball, they can all shoot, they can all switch, they can all guard 1 through 4 or 2 through 5 or whatever. And where it used to be like, you knew your point guard was going to be the smallest guy, right?
Yeah.
And then you got your, and then it went up, and then your center was your biggest guy.
Yeah.
So your tallest guy was your center, right?
Yeah.
Now, the point guard at minimum is 6'4", 6'3", and then everybody else is 6'7", and then your center is 6'11", 7 foot, but they all have the same skill set.
So since you just brought up the point guard, like you said, basketball is starting to become positionless. In the sense, do you feel like the point guard position is going to become a needle in a haystack? Because qualities of a true point guard can't just be put into a player that's 6'9". It's either you have it or you don't. When it becomes to the, controlling the game, putting people where they need to be, just the point guard position.
Well, I mean, but okay, so with that, all right. I think with the training, you can always or the mindset can come. Now,
That
you-
leadership, yeah.
Yeah, the leadership, like I said, you gotta have, everybody has a floor general, no matter what. I don't care who you are, everybody has that floor general that comes on, right? So I think that is possible in having somebody that big do it, and it's not I'll put it that you always have an alpha on the floor for your team. A guy that, or they say the green dot guy, the red dot guy, that's what you need. Sometimes he's a point guard, sometimes he's not, but the point guard knows the plays, gets everybody in a place, but if everybody is seamless, like in any other sport, you know what the 5's gonna do. You know what the 2's gonna do. You know what they're all gonna do. So if you're the 5 and I come down, I hold my fist up, even if I'm the 5, everybody knows what play we're running, right? We know this play is gonna run through 3, I'm gonna roll this way, everybody's gonna swing, and you're gonna go stand in this corner. Right, so who is the point guard? And see, and again, like Alan said, that's gonna be a great advantage to whatever team can figure that out. Because now your defense is like, okay, we really can't apply pressure to the true point guard because we got a big man bringing the ball up.
Right.
So our center is not gonna be guarding him. let's not do that because, even with that size, you do have to think about conditioning.
Yeah.
Whereas again, smaller guys seem to run a
Can he
little
move
faster.
laterally?
Yeah,
Can he
yeah, so,
cut?
yeah, can he do that? So again, I mean, I think there's always gonna be that point guard guy,
Okay.
always. I mean, again, not identified by his number or his position, but there's gonna be that guy that says, okay,
Yeah. Well,
Calling
and
plays.
something else is most players now, the point guard, they're combo guards,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Like, the Chris Pauls
Yeah.
and the John Stocktons
Yeah.
and the Jason Kidds.
dish the
We don't
ball.
see as many of those anymore, right?
Mhm.
Everybody is Steph and Kyrie and those guys that are, scorers. We call them the point guard,
Yep.
but they can score just like, and again, back in the day, it was more traditional point guard.
Drive
Like
the
you said, the
lane.
guy that's bringing it down,
Yeah.
smaller guy,
Yeah.
calling the plays, telling people where to go.
Yeah.
He can hit a jump shot, he can, handle.
Yep.
But he's basically just facilitating.
Yep.
Now these guys have handles. They might be the main facilitator. I look at the Warriors. Draymond is their main
Right.
facilitator.
Right. We talk
right?
about that all the time.
But
He's playing.
on paper, Steph is the point guard,
Yeah.
but he's as much a scoring guard as there is, right? So-
Right.
So I think the game is moving more towards that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like when you look at like all-time great point guards, right?
Yeah.
There's a debate about, okay, well, do I count Steph as a point guard?
Right. Same
Right.
thing with Allen Iverson.
Yeah. Or do you say, well, I feel like now you have to do two categories. You got to go like traditional floor general point guard,
Then
and then there's a list of those. Your Stocktons, your Jason Kidds, probably your
Paul.
Magics, your Chris Pauls, the traditional guy, right? Then you got the combo, the scoring,
Mhm.
the Kyries, the Stephs,
Mhm.
the AIs, pretty much everybody now,
Damn. Yeah.
the Hardens,
Yeah.
who are scorers,
Penny.
as much as, they are
A
running the team.
facilitator.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that whole point forward thing came about,
That's-
Scottie
Yeah.
Pippins
Yeah.
and the Grant Hills, LeBron,
Mhm.
there's Draymond, there's more of those now.
Yeah.
So
Giannis.
again,
Right.
Like I said, just
positionless, but you still have, your strengths and weaknesses. They're not gonna have Dennis Rodman bringing the ball down,
Right.
but,
God, no.
So for
Just
example,
talking about Rodman say he had handles.
Correct.
No.
Did the game from last night?
Mhm.
Did the Lakers show you any improvement? Do they still make that trade?
so
Does D'Angelo stay? What does Los Angeles do? And then what does the Warriors need to do? Because
Mm.
Steph is the only one out there at this point. That's what it looks like sometimes.
So that game last night, the problem with the Lakers is they're really big and long, but they're slow and they don't shoot a lot of threes. And that's a problem. If you're gonna be big and long, you can play good defense, but somewhere your offense is gonna have to come from somewhere, right? And so if you don't have shooters, or if you're not running and fast breaking, but in that game last night, they had more fast break points. Like they ran,
Mhm.
and I feel like if they can do that more, that team will be okay. And Russell, since they start talking about trading him,
He
dude
been
has
killing.
he's been killing them. So he's gonna make it hard for them to trade him.
It's interesting because reports are still saying that he still ain't got no trade value.
Again, the way he's playing right now, it's gonna make it tough. What the Lakers keep saying they want, he's really giving them right now.
Exactly.
It's just they're looking at,
Is it consistent?
can he do it in the playoffs? Because he really didn't do it last year. Can he keep doing it? And then is he better than the other guys you might be able to bring in?
Right.
Because again, that team is like 500.
Mhm.
Right now, they're sitting at like 9th. So
Just outside.
same thing they did last year. Now, last year, though, they made all those changes and then went on that run. I'll be shocked if they sit with what they have, but they don't really have a lot of room to, make a giant splash. And so we'll see what they do.
So what about your boy that I don't really care for? What about Reeves? Does he stay? I know you guys just paid him.
I don't think Austin Reeves goes anywhere.
Okay.
He's still playing well. He's got a contract that's decent. They just paid him, but he's not getting paid crazy
Right
amount.
amount of money.
Would they like to have some more pieces? Yes. I don't know that Austin Reeves is somebody they move off from. I like Austin Reeves fine. If they could have ended up with, like last year, they were talking about getting Kyrie, again, I love Kyrie with LeBron. And if you had Kyrie, AD, and LeBron, that's gonna be, trouble. But you see what they did with the changes they made. They didn't end up with the big splash. I feel like they're probably not gonna get the big splash this year, but they just got to change the way they play. And if they play like they did against Golden State, they'll be fine.
Transition game.
Yeah, they have to play faster.
What about the Warriors?
Yeah,
Steph is still killing it.
He is.
Clay's playing better.
about time.
Draymond is new Draymond, so I think he'll be fine. They're struggling right now, and I just don't know what moves they make.
How did you feel about Kuminga last night?
I really didn't watch that much of him. I mean, I didn't watch the whole game. I watched the end.
Mhm.
They thought he would be giving them more. Wiggins isn't playing great.
That's what I was about to ask.
So, I mean,
So Wiggins is not playing well at all.
yeah, I mean, he played great last year.
Yeah, he
This
did.
year, he's kind of an off year. Clay's hasn't been playing as well as he normally plays. Really, Steph is the only one that's playing at the normal level, but we'll see whether it's enough.
No, I don't know. I don't see one of them two ain't making it. Coming out the West.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be tough,
It's
man.
gonna be tough coming out the
With
West.
all these, Minnesota, the
Like
way
I
they're
said,
playing, and
tough.
OKC,
OKC,
Denver,
got.
like Dallas is playing a lot better.
Clippers.
The
You know, my
Clippers are
guys
playing
over there,
great.
They are
Yeah. Well, the Clippers are finally doing what I thought they were gonna do
Yeah.
last year.
play ball.
I said last year, I had the Clippers
1 second.
against,
That's my guy.
I had the
That's my
Clippers,
guy.
and this is before they got him. Right?
Yeah.
I had the Clippers versus the Bucks.
Yeah.
In the finals. That didn't have that work out for me, not very well. But I feel like if you got Kawhi and you got Paul George
Mhm.
healthy and playing with the
Connected and. Got in there.
but yeah, with Kawhi and Paul George, I was like, that team, those two dudes are gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
And now Harden is actually figuring it out and he's playing well. Russ is doing his thing. So
Yeah, I said Harden.
that team's good.
Said Harden was always a challenge. Dribble, take 9 steps, shoot.
Yeah. But
What about the rest of the team? Huh? What about them? But
yeah, they're playing a lot better.
yeah,
Now,
listen,
so one more NBA thing I wanted to talk about. So they released the 41 players, right?
Right,
The
for Team
Olympic
USA.
Team
Yeah.
USA.
oh,
So they got, for those of you who don't remember, the team last in, I guess, the World Championships didn't even medal.
mm,
They decided to go all young guys, right? And I think Grant Hill's running it and Steve Kerr is the head coach, but they went like really young. They went Walker Kessler, they went, Cam Johnson, like they went real young. Well, after they didn't medal, they decided to do what they did back, in the
Went back.
late 80s when we didn't medal in the Olympics. They said, "Nah, we can't do
Yeah,
that."
we went and got every
So
Michael
all the
Bird.
stars now are like, we're gonna play. So LeBron and Steph, and KD, they're all like, hey, we want to play.
Kevin Durant.
So now you got a pool of 41
Mhm.
that they have to get, I think it's 12, get it down to 12 before it's all said and done. Some people will be injured. Some people will be in the finals and decide they don't want to do it.
Okay.
But your marquee guys, right, are LeBron and Steph and KD,
KD.
Anthony Davis, guys that have been there like before. But then the wild card is Joel Embiid,
Yeah.
because now he is a U.S. citizen.
Mm.
He could play with France or he could play with the U.S. He decided he's going to play with the U.S.
Of course he is.
So that's the wild card, right?
See, so you
And
got-
so,
see the list?
so I was looking at it and I was like, okay, if I'm trying to put together my team of 12, right? Do you keep some of the young guys to try to build some continuity, or do you say, nah, we're going with the old dudes, we just trying to get a
No,
W
no.
and see what happens?
No, you have to do it because remember your vets, think about the vets you just mentioned. Those guys are in their 30s.
Yeah, but the Olympics is in June.
I'm just saying, but I'm looking at future Olympics. And
Mhm.
not just this one. I mean, yeah, when we put them on the floor, you gotta remember world basketball's gotten a lot better. So, yeah, you put our vets on the floor, but you still need some of those young guys to get in there so they know, so they can be the vets to come back, right?
Well, again, I don't know about that for the Olympics because the Olympics is every 4 years, right?
Yeah.
So most of these dudes aren't gonna be around in 4 years.
Yeah, the older guys.
Right, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
what I'm saying. That's why.
So,
it makes
so do you
sense.
go all in for this one?
Well, no, I mean, because it's okay, to me, it's the Olympics, right? I understand about the nationalism. Yeah, America's great, but okay, it's the Olympics.
Yeah, but we never lose the
Yeah, you
Olympics.
can't lose them.
I mean, but bro,
We lose the world championships, we lost other ones.
Look, that's like saying we used to dominate sprinting until the Jamaicans got fast.
Right,
Better yet, soul.
but there's nothing we can do about that.
Yeah.
We tried to put these dudes in there, we just can't compete with them.
So
So,
yeah, okay, so back to your original point. I think you mix it in.
okay,
Because like I said, because again, if you just want to go all in for 1 year, that's fine. But if you're talking about the Olympics and setting dominance, like like the Russian gymnastics team was dominant for 20 years in Olympics. If that's what you want to do, then you have to invest in the young guys and let them grow and understand this is what this is about.
yeah, but that's what we got. We're dominant in the Olympics for 100 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
And that's one thing we don't do is we don't lose the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
Well, especially since we started doing the dream
professionals,
teams,
yeah,
right?
professionals,
So,
college guys.
okay, so let's just look just real quick. I know we haven't studied this.
Yeah, so we got.
So LeBron, I'm just gonna name 12 off the top of my head, right?
Okay.
And I'm gonna go primarily old heads or just dudes that I know, right?
Okay.
So you got LeBron,
Yep.
you got Steph,
Yep.
you got
KD.
KD.
All right. Paul George.
I'm gonna go Paul, maybe.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Embiid.
Okay.
I'm definitely gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Anthony Davis because one thing about last time is we were the young guys.
Mhm.
We were small, and
Okay.
so that was one of the things they said we needed to make sure we had enough size. So I'm going Embiid, Anthony Davis, maybe Bam Adebayo
Yeah,
is my kind of younger guy.
Yeah.
So those are my three centers, right?
Okay.
My three bigs.
Yep.
Then I got LeBron. I got Kevin Durant.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Jason Tatum.
Yeah, he's on the list. Yep.
So that's like 6. I'm gonna go Kawhi.
He's on here. Yep.
I'm gonna go Steph, 7.
What about somebody? Kyrie?
No.
No, Kyrie. Okay.
I'm thinking of a young guy like maybe Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, I'm about to say Halliburton.
Of a young guy. Let's see who else we got.
got
Anthony Edwards
De'Aaron
is
Fox.
killing it right now. Yeah, De'Aaron Fox, he might make the cut. Paul George is close.
What else you got? Well, you got Damian Lillard for the old heads for shooting.
Dame might make the cut. Chris Paul's too injured. He's not making it.
How many you at right now, Alan?
I think that was 10.
That's
Okay.
10, so he needs 2 more.
So I got 2 more spots.
So
All
you
right.
got
But
You got
again,
Jimmy Butler.
I went with a whole old head
no
group.
Butler.
Jimmy
Butler's from that old head era.
Yeah, but I want to know. I need some more shooting.
Some more
Maybe
shooting.
Devin Booker
Okay.
because he killed it last Olympics. So I'm gonna go Booker, and I think I got one more spot, and that'll probably go to a defender, younger guy, maybe maybe an Anthony Edwards or a
Okay.
But yeah, so that's kind of my preliminary list.
Because my list was a little different because me and Alan had did this list earlier this
Okay.
week.
All right.
Just playing around with it. And I would probably still go with my list, Alan. I probably would go with for point guards, I got Steph.
Okay.
And I got Jalen Brunson. For my shooting guards, I think I had what did I have?
You have Anthony Edwards.
I had Anthony Edwards and Jason Tatum.
Okay.
For my small forwards, I had Braun, Kawhi,
Mhm.
and I actually had
Six.
Paulo Banchero.
Okay.
Okay.
Power forwards, I had Katie, Anthony Davis, and I think that was it for my power forwards.
And now you gotta go.
And then centers, I had Embiid,
Okay.
I had Bam. Where am I sitting at right now?
Yeah, that's 11. You need one more.
Get a
And
wild card. Who you throwing there?
We're gonna put Allen on the squad.
then we're gonna throw
Laettner made it. I can get me a spot too.
Paul George in there.
He said
Paul
Kristen
George,
Leitner.
Paul George.
Yeah.
Oh, leave Leitner alone, man. That's when they were mixing college.
I did see some people that would sound good. We talked about going back and forth with Tyrese Halliburton, but
Mhm.
I just felt like Jalen was going to be a better fit. Didn't really feel like Kyrie would be picked in that group, just because of everything that's been going on regarding him, not his talent.
Mhm.
Didn't think James Harden would get picked, even though that's my guy,
No.
because we know how that's gonna go. Look out.
Here we go. I'm cooking.
Sorry, James.
I'm cooking. What you doing?
But I did go back and forth with Alan about if I wanted Paulo Banchero or Brandon Ingram.
Okay.
And I think I went with Paulo just because he's new, he's young, and he's really, one of those guys that really have it going.
Okay.
Really kind of turned that Magic organization kind of over a little bit with what they have to. So that's why I have that young guy as Paulo, Jalen Brunson, who else? Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, just because those are the guys I feel like that have that dog in them. That could, like you said, become one of those vets
Gonna have to be
for future Olympics.
Yeah.
And again, it's like that's where they're going to have to figure out like how many young guys versus how many of the old guys. You kind of know, a bunch of these guys have been in the Olympics before.
Yeah.
A bunch of them haven't. The young guys that represented Team USA, I feel bad for them because they stepped up and did what we wanted them to do last year. They didn't win.
Mhm.
So now that they get punished, probably so.
Yeah.
Most of them probably don't make it, even though they were on it last time. And I know that like the team is kind of interchangeable when they do those like preliminary games and things, I think. But when you get it down to the 12 that's going to actually go to France or whatever, you got to pick 12. So it'll be interesting how they decide to do it with, clearly LeBron is one of the best players in the world, one of the best leaders.
Yeah.
He's been there, but he's not going to be there in 4 years, clearly, right? Steph, a lot of these guys, 4 years from now, they're not going to be around. So do you say, even though I know these guys will be great, I'm going to pass up a LeBron, just use him as an example, that's old, for a Paolo who's young, who will be around for a while. Again, you can change up that in 4 years. Who knows what the team's going to look like?
Yeah.
But
So you have to find a nice mix because you can't go all in with all old guys. I don't think anybody who wants, like I said, you don't mortgage the future.
yeah, but you don't play the Olympics for the future. You play the Olympics.
I know you play for things.
Now.
Yeah, but now, like I said, do I really care about the Olympics? It's me.
You don't.
I don't. I'm like,
You don't.
whatever.
So in that case, man, just roll it out of young guys.
No, we're not gonna lose.
We get spanked. We get wiped up by the,
Again.
where my flag at? Come on, man.
Oh, my flag.
Look, man, look. I watch the Olympics. I don't watch it for basketball. I'm sorry.
Really?
I watch it for the sprinters.
Yeah, well, that's definitely I love the sprint.
I watch it. Look, I ain't gonna lie to nobody. I watch
Yeah.
anything under 800 a mile and under. I'm watching. I'm not watching
Yeah.
a 32,000 race.
I got you. Yeah.
I'm not watching wrestling.
You know what? You're not watching the steeplechase?
No, man.
Joker's jumping in puddles.
looks
I never
painful.
understood that.
That looks painful.
Yeah, it does, right?
Or the heptathlon, or I don't watch any. I
I
watch.
got
You say you're running 100? Let's go.
you. Yeah, I got you.
You running 800? They playing basketball with that weird ball. Whatever.
Hey, man, this is, here I go off on a tangent. Okay, we all saw or heard about, if you haven't seen it, the Cat Williams thing.
Oh Lord.
I'm not gonna talk about any of the other statements. except for him saying he can run a 4.200 right now.
Never happening. He said he could run a 4.240.
Come on now.
I gotta see
Four
this.
two 40, sorry, not 100. If he can run a 4.200, now we really yeah, a 4.240, right?
It's funny because the video had just came
Of
out.
him running.
Yes, you remember in University of Memphis, you was like,
Yes.
there's no way Penny Hardaway let him in there.
I want to know how fast he can run. I believe him. That little dude looked like he can go.
I don't know.
He said he could run a 4.2. Somebody get a clock on this dude. I want to know how fast he can
He ain't
run.
running a 4.2 now.
That's what he said, man. Look,
Nah,
and I
bro.
say if he can't run a 4.2, everything else he said was a lie too. That's what we're gonna base it on.
What do you say? We're on 4.2, 4.4? One of them.
4.2,
Yeah.
40.
Say 4.240
Look,
is?
Listen, I guarantee he can run faster than them other dudes that he was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But I saw him running in that gym, right? I just want to know what the time was.
Now, was it legit or was it not?
And even if he doesn't run a
Here
4.2,
we go. I'm 5.
Yeah.
God.
if he runs a 4.4, I'll still be impressed. A 4.5, I'm impressed. But if he runs anywhere close to 4.2, I want to see
Yeah,
it.
we got to.
I
Look.
want to know.
As you say, where is the tape?
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to see it. That's what somebody.
If you look, we'll score 100 points, and we got all these cameras.
Yeah, exactly. Where
Where
is
is
the
the
tape?
Well, look.
So I need to see a man, like I said, run, Rich, run. He puts on the cleats at the end of the combine, somebody, the electronic clock, he can go. He runs a 4.2, somebody can sign.
I want to see it. I want to see him do it.
Cause like I said, he running a 4.2, he a kick return.
Mhm.
Just give him a lane. Cause that is, whoo,
Yeah.
that's Deion
I'm-
Sanders speak.
I mean, there's there's fast dudes on the streets, man. I mean,
Oh,
you know,
there
Yes.
and who am I to say the cat can't fly like that, right?
Look, I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to see it. Seeing is believing. Look, I'm not from Missouri, but you're gonna have to show me.
I hear you.
I'm sorry. You know, look, I know there's dudes that roll out of bed and they just do what they do.
Well,
Well,
since we speaking about speed,
Uh-oh.
your boy still ain't got no job yet in the field.
ooh, okay.
Man.
That might be a little slower.
Yeah.
He said, pump your brakes, player.
Yeah. That I think that's a shock, right? Everybody thought Bill Belichick would be the first dude everybody wanted. But then you know what? After you think about it,
Mm-hmm.
he clearly wants to get the record, right? So he
Yeah.
needs 14 more wins. But he is old, right? And he's been coaching for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody that he goes to, it's not a long-term deal. And I heard somebody saying that
Years.
one reason why they didn't bring him in was you have to change everything you have to bring in your new coach. You know, you bring in whoever he wants.
Okay.
You change things. You might change the offense, you might change the defense, you change everything, right? In 3 years, 4 years
Gotta
max,
change it again.
you're gonna have to do it all over again. Now, again, there's no guarantee who you bring in. You might fire them after 2 years, but you know going in,
Yeah.
this dude is not gonna coach 5, 6, 7 more years. So more than likely.
Well,
So I think that's another reason why he didn't get the job. Still, he thought he was gonna
So this perception of him not get this job, does it go back to a topic that was, surrounding different sports shows? So was it all Tom Brady? Was it
No,
Bill?
well,
Is this the
okay.
reason? Is this showing you that it
No,
wasn't Bill?
No, I think, okay, sometimes you have the perfect storm, the perfect alignment of certain things, right? Think about it, and again, if Brady goes to Tampa, is he when Tampa was horrible, is Brady? Right? You don't know,
we don't know.
right? Do you know if Bill stays in Cleveland, are the Patriots the Patriots? We don't know.
Right.
Right? But like I said, I think they had the perfect storm, they had the perfect resources. Tom and Bill's personalities are extremely similar, right? Perfectionists, run the play again, run the play again, run the play again. You know, and again, Belichick is from the Parcells tree, right? Very, very rigid coaching style, right? And we were talking about this earlier. You know, yeah, I mean, I will say this on a side note. Tom did win one without him. Right, so then of course that's what leads into, is it the Brady way or is it the Patriot way?
Right.
But back to the coaching thing, the style of coaching, right? You look at the rash of hirings everybody's done. They're not going retreads. They're going with new coaches, with new philosophies, new styles, because the way athletes interact with coaching is changing.
Yeah.
You know, Tom is from, not Tom,
Bill.
Bill is from the old school. Coaches coach, players play. Don't ask me why I'm running this play, run the play. Did I tell you to run Y2 banana? Run Y2 banana.
Right.
Don't question it. You know, whereas now, I think with the maturation of players and the change, that style is not as effective.
They definitely calling audibles at this
You
point.
know, they not even audibles, but the coaches, I mean, with social media and all the other stuff, you know, you can do that when you can do that in, what do you call it? You can do that where the Patriots were, right? Because you were winning Super Bowls, right? You were winning. So I would come in and acquiesce my ego because you were winning. When you're not winning, I'm not acquiescing my ego.
Yeah.
You know, and that's part of the problem, because they haven't been in the playoffs. They've been horrible. And we all know in the NFL, it's not what you did 10 years ago.
Right.
It's what you did. What did you do the last 2 years?
Yeah.
You've had horrible teams. You didn't do anything with them. And that's what they're looking at, because your style is not working.
Yeah.
You know, so when you look at these newer coaches like Raheem Morris, Callahan, you know, they have all these West Coast designs because that's what's winning.
Yeah.
You know, Bill does not run a West Coast type offense. You know, it's basically the old style. What we're gonna do, we're gonna stop the run and we're gonna keep the ball away from you.
Yeah.
You know, so how many people really want to watch that?
Yeah. Well, and you think about it. All we know, like you said, we'll never know what would have happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
But all we know is what actually did happen.
Yeah.
When Belichick was in Cleveland,
Yeah.
they weren't good. Right.
Mhm.
When he went to the Patriots, he got lucky. Let's start off. People try to act like he's some genius who found
Brady.
Brady. He didn't trade up to get Brady. He didn't know something other people didn't. He found this dude that was a serviceable dude in
Yeah.
Michigan, a 6th-round pick.
Yeah.
He brought him in. Nobody thought he was going to see the field. He would have never seen the field if Drew Bledsoe didn't get hurt.
Yeah. Mhm.
Those early days, Brady wasn't the Brady we see now.
Yeah.
He was managing the game.
Mhm.
Their defense saved them. Their
Yep.
defense won it. But then whatever happened, Brady turned into Brady.
Yeah.
Right. And yes, everything, the perfect storm, like you said, came
Yeah.
together. So we don't know what would have happened if let's say Brady never gets to play
Yeah.
and gets traded and Bledsoe stays the coach. We don't know that Bledsoe takes them to championships. You just take
I don't see
Brady
it.
out and put Bledsoe in. We don't know.
Yeah, I don't see it.
But
Big robot.
we know that that Belichick wasn't good in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And we know he hasn't been good since.
Since.
Because again, whether you have Brady or whoever, you got to have a quarterback.
Yeah.
And he went with Mac Jones, and that wasn't the move,
You know how
evidently.
I feel about Alabama quarterbacks.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of
don't do it.
proven. It's kind of proven.
Yeah, it kind of proves itself out. But you know, like I said, so I mean, so the going rumor now is he's gonna sit out this year and he's gonna go into broadcasting, which I don't think Bill's a broadcasting guy.
He's way more personable
Mhm.
than he looks like in these press
Yeah,
conferences.
because he looks horrible in the press.
Like
conference.
they did that the 75 greatest
Yeah,
or whatever.
okay.
He's good in that.
Okay.
Like, so yeah, I think he's got way more personality than you think.
Yeah, I hope so.
And but yeah, but it looks like he's gonna be sitting
Yeah,
out a year,
He's gonna be signing a year, so he's
waiting for another deal to come through,
So
right?
they said, yeah, he's gonna sit out a year. I mean, because there's always gonna be openings in the NFL. Just the way it is. There's always gonna be at least 5 to 6 openings every year in the NFL, because that's just.
But
how
the
it
question is, do you get Belichick?
Yeah,
What happens?
well-
What's different this year
Well,
Then-
I'll say this, okay?
than next
Me
year?
personally, I thought he would have been a better fit at Carolina, right? Because they need a foundation. They need continuity for at least 2 years, right? And he could bring in his guys, Vrabel, whoever else, DC, and stabilize their franchise. And he could actually tell the owner, I got 6 rings. I know what I'm doing, right? Versus Tapper going, oh, we got another 4-12 season, I'm firing my coach again. You know, so I think that in my opinion. I think he should have gone there and he should have allowed them to build an organization up because they ain't got nothing.
Yeah, but he didn't even interview anywhere else.
Well, he
Like,
interviewed with Atlanta.
that was
where-
it. Nobody else even showed any interest.
Right.
That's
Wow.
the wild thing. Like, they didn't,
Well, they're still pushing him.
he didn't even get looks.
Yeah, like I said, well, they're pushing him. Like I said, they're still, they said he's gonna sit out a year. And then after the year, they said, of course, this is all conjecture and they always want to throw the Dallas Cowboy name out there, I swear to God. He may be the next coach at the Dallas Cowboys because McCarthy doesn't win in the playoffs, he's out. I'm like, really? It's not even next season yet, guys.
Right. Well, I mean, McCarthy has 1 year left.
Yeah.
Bill only wants to coach
2 years.
2 or 3 years. If he coaches with the Cowboys,
Mhm.
he might have a record in 1 year
Yeah, no,
because,
he'd be done.
he'd have a quarterback, he'd have
Mhm.
a ready-made team,
Well, he could.
and Jerry would definitely be,
White, no, never.
well, no, Jerry would be open to it because he's not gonna see
Yeah.
a coach that's gonna be there 10 years.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, no, it's not.
um,
So I mean, so that's, well, it is kind of weird. Like I said, but like I said, the way he does things is different. I mean, when you look at, like I said, so when you look at the Raheem Morrison hire and was it Jared Mayo hire, the Callahan hire, of course, Jim Harbaugh hire. And, there's 2 openings still. You got the Commanders and the Seahawks that are still open.
who took the Titans job?
Check
I
that
don't
out.
remember, but
Yeah, the Titans.
did they hire somebody?
I think they
Okay.
did because there's only 2, they said there were only 2 spots left.
Okay.
I remember, no, it's gonna probably get me, but yeah, so they basically said that the coaching style matches today's.
The Titans hired Brian Callahan.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay, so
okay,
Callahan,
okay.
So wait a minute, so who did oh, that's who they hired. They hired, Panthers hired the QB coach for
Tampa.
Tampa.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so again, those guys are all young, all offensive minded guys. I mean, Raheem Moore is more defensive, but it's the way they interact with the players in the locker room per se,
Okay.
and I don't know this for sure, and I don't know this for a fact, but Bill doesn't strike me as that guy in the locker room that the young players.
Yeah, I can definitely see
gravitate
that.
towards.
I can know 100%. I can see that.
So if you got a young.
He's definitely not a rah-rah guy.
Yeah,
He's not a,
He's not
yeah,
that. I'm not gonna put the chain on and do the.
yeah. No, you're right.
He's gonna.
That's past, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
so I think, like a lot of guys, like I said, when, this has got to flip back to college basketball, right? When Roy retired and
Coach K,
Coach K and all that,
Bohan.
and yeah, because of, hey, I don't want to deal with the one and done anymore. Now the coaches, I don't want to deal with the NIL,
Right.
but that's the type of mentality of the athlete that's coming out.
Right.
It's not going to be about money. It's about me and my brand. Whereas, back when you're winning Super Bowls, it ain't your brand. It's the Patriot brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you do, you can do on your time, but when you hit this building, it's about us.
Yeah.
So, and again, I think that's his mentality.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're gonna have to mortgage the farm, only to remortgage the farm in 2 years, because if you have personnel that runs a 34, and you want to switch to a 43,
Yeah. You gotta totally.
you gotta gut your personnel.
Yeah.
Even on offense, you gotta change everything.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee you're gonna get a Super Bowl. And again, whatever team he's going to, they're not good teams, we all know, because they fired their coaches.
Yeah.
You're starting over.
Yeah. But you're right. Everybody wants there's that, and I think it was at Washington maybe,
Mhm.
but they showed their staff and it was like McVay and the dude from Miami.
Yeah.
And they're Shanahan, they're
Yeah.
all on the same.
Yeah,
Every one of those dudes
Yeah.
is a head coach.
Yeah.
They're all young, innovative.
Yeah.
They got offenses that put points up.
Points with motion.
And that's what I think that's what everybody's looking
Yeah.
for. Even the people that want a defensive minded coach, they still want a kind of a
Okay,
rah-rah
I like
player
it.
coach
Yeah.
guy. Yeah. And I can see that. Because part of it is all these owners want to win. All these owners want to fill up their stadiums.
Yep.
So part of that is you got to have a coach that can be out there
Yeah.
and fire people up about what you got coming in. He's got to be able to get in with the players. your style that you run has to
Yep.
be something people want to watch. So you might win games with a completely just defensive minded
Yeah.
approach where in offense you're going to run the ball and you're going to play field position, but people don't want to watch that.
Yep.
And so
10-3 game, guys.
yeah, people don't want to watch
Nobody
that.
wants to watch
So with all
Yeah.
these high scoring games, based off of all the anticipation that's bowling for this week, out of the couple of teams that are left in the play, in
Well, yep.
yeah, in the NFL,
Mhm.
which one is the most explosive?
Oh, Baltimore, baby, Baltimore.
And which one would actually show it? Which one would show you that they can
Oh.
put points on the board?
I'll say, okay, so this week, okay, okay.
So we got 49ers versus Detroit.
We got
then
49
Baltimore
versus Detroit, and
Kansas City.
I'll say this, if the 49ers play like they played last week, they're gonna lose that game.
I agree.
So Purdy's gonna have to make those throws.
Yep.
He can't miss wide open dudes.
They got to hope that Debo is
Oh,
shoulder
he's
is healthy.
He's back.
Well,
He's
he's
came
back,
back.
He's back. No,
but
he's
we
gonna-
don't know how,
How healthy he is.
we
right.
need him to be running the ball.
Well,
We
he's
need him
gonna
to be doing his thing. He's
He's
playing,
gonna play.
but again, we need him to
Right.
be
Yeah, I understand.
We don't want to hear it on the flip side that you was 60%
exactly.
in the
Yeah,
game that you need to win.
I don't care. You played.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
played. I don't care if you're 20%.
Yeah.
If you're playing, you better give me everything you got.
yeah. But I'm just saying, they
Yeah.
need him.
Yeah.
They need McCaffrey to have a good game. They need Kittle, and they need Purdy to do his
That
thing.
front is different. That front is McCaffrey's gonna get his, but the key to this game, Brady's gonna have to make those throws. If he's not making them throws, I don't know if they get bailed out. You know, I mean, because Detroit playing with a chip on their shoulder.
They are, and again, and they're kind of playing with house money.
Yeah.
Because they've never been this far before.
So
If they make the Super Bowl, good Lord, it's gonna be crazy.
So I actually listened to Dan Campbell speak. I listened to Saint, what's his name? Saint somebody,
Oh, the
the
receiver.
receiver. I listened to him talk. And they all are, they're marching to one beat, one drum, literally. They're saying, the message was, you know what? Nobody believes in us but us.
Yeah,
It's us against the world. And they believe it. I mean,
Yeah.
people say it a lot, but they believe it.
yeah,
And there's nothing like playing a team that believes.
yeah, yeah.
They
You know,
better than what they
they
are,
better than-
especially when they start playing like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except because the run game, and you look at the game last week with Green Bay, right? And I'll say this, right? Love's mechanics, but Love was throwing off his back foot a lot. You're not supposed to do that when you're a quarterback. If he'd have been driving those throws, and again, like I said, they wouldn't be here right now. Right? So I think Golf, who's not a better passer, but better mechanically,
Yeah.
right? If he has the game he had last week, especially with the secondary, because again, San Francisco's back four are not that Ward's the best corner they got. And you can see last week when they got no pressure, they got exposed. Even with Greenlaw and Warner and all those guys, they were making tackles 5-6 yards down the field. If that continues with Montgomery, because what they're going to do is they're going to pound them with Montgomery, and then they're going to hit him with the guy from Alabama that's super fast. That's what they're going to do. And you saw it last week. And they were like, okay, I'm going to pound you. I'm going to pound you. I'm going to pound you. Now I'm bringing a speed guy. Now that you're, oh my God, this guy's coming. He's going, hit the sideline. He's going up the sideline. 23-yard gain. Another 23-yard gain. Now we're going to pound it in again.
Mhm.
And like I said, and again, you go back to the other game, they weren't getting any pressure on Love. So what are they going to do? Right? So again, back to who was more explosive, of course, that would be Baltimore, because he can run and he can what? He can
Lamar,
throw.
yeah.
Are they coming in? I'm sorry. Yeah, so what do you think?
So,
Oh,
so I'm rooting for Baltimore.
Yeah.
Lamar's gonna be the MVP. And they've made it further than they've made it with him.
Yeah.
They're playing great. He's got his tight end back, so now they got both guys.
Andrews likely.
Hopefully he's, playing, but I'm rooting for Baltimore.
Okay.
Now, you cannot sleep on the Chiefs
The Mahomes.
because they know what to do in these big games. And even though they've had a a down season, people aren't really hyping him up like they have in the past because of the receivers issues that they've had.
Yeah.
They played a lot better recently, and I can't wait for this one.
So what matchups are important in both of these games?
Number one, Taylor Swift versus what?
My
What?
God.
What are you talking about? That's the number one matchup. How can who does Baltimore have to match up with Taylor Swift? I'm looking
Here we
I'm
go.
looking in their
Nobody.
press box,
Nobody.
and I don't see
Nobody.
anybody that can match up with her.
Lamar's mom. I tried.
It's a mismatch. It's a mismatch.
The Swift.
So advantage Chiefs, right?
For that one, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Quarterbacks, Lamar's playing better. Lamar's the MVP. He's got that chip on his shoulder because people are like, can you get over the hump? Can
Yeah.
you do? He's playing great. So, I like that. Mahomes, again, in these big games, he always steps up. He knows what to do. So you can't sleep on him. This is just going to be a battle, man. I'm looking forward to this. I think the weather's going to be good, so it's not going to be a factor.
It's gonna be nice.
I'm looking forward to this one.
What about the Detroit and 49ers again? Which matchup is going to be
Which
important?
matchup? Well, it'll be actually it's gonna be Joey Bosa against Penei Sewell. They can't, Joey Bosa can't get off. Joey Bosa gets off Jared Goff because Jared Goff's a statue. So he ain't running away.
Yeah, he's not running away,
He's not
but
running away.
we also got to remember Jared Goff's been there before too.
Well, yeah,
right?
but he didn't.
I'm just saying, he's been there.
See, but you have to remember this too. They played in the same division, so they are very familiar with Jared Goff and his tendencies, right? Because Jared Goff, no matter when he's playing, he gonna give you 1 or 2 picks a game because he's just gonna throw it, unfortunately. So if they get that Jared Goff, that was in the game that they played about 4 years ago, where he looked horrible against the Niners.
Yeah, I don't think that dude exists anymore.
I'm just saying.
This Jared Goff is a different dude.
I don't know, with that Jared Goff. look,
This
that-
team is a different team.
Well, it's a
and this is
different
dude.
team,
Yeah.
but Jared Goff, like you said,
Are they going to get to Jared Goff in time to
Yeah.
start exposing?
yeah, like I
those?
said, because again, he's not a mobile quarterback. And again, that's part of his game because the ball has to come out.
Right.
Like I said, so for those long developing middle routes that they like to throw, Bosa and Penei Sewell are gonna be there. So that in Hargrave and the interior line. But I think, like I said, for the pass rush side, yes. For the run game, I think it's gonna be pretty evenly matched. But if they're gashing them like Green Bay was gashing them last week, it's gonna be ugly. Then that's gonna open up the passing game, and that's gonna
Gotcha.
be even worse.
I got
Like I
you.
said, with the Chiefs game, oh man, that's gonna be good. I'll say this, the Baltimore defense is playing really good,
Yep.
really good. And they were playing last week without their best corner. So that's gonna be really good. Pacheco's gonna be running hard. There's gonna be some big hits in this game.
We were talking about defense. I mean, who's the best linebacker in the game?
Fred Warner or Roquan Smith. I mean, like again, so you got 2 very good linebackers, because you got, for Baltimore, you got Patrick Queen, you got Roquan Smith. Those guys are good. It was Sam and Mike. Those are pretty good Sam and Mike guys. And then on your edges, you got Clowney and another guy. And you got 2 big guys in the interior, and you got your back 4, which are pretty solid. So their defense, like I said, when I watched them play in San Fran, woo-wee, they put it on. Purdy was running for his life.
And San Fran has a decent defense
Look,
as well.
Decent
San
offense,
Fran
defense offensive line.
Yeah.
has been played great all year, right?
Yeah.
They are number 1 seed for a reason.
Yeah.
And they also have a little bit of a chip because Purdy is like, people still don't know if I'm the guy.
Yeah, yep.
And they were hurt, and he was hurt last year.
So what could have been?
So they
Right.
could have been in this, they're like,
It
what
could have
could have
been.
happened, right? And so, there's a lot of stories within the story of both of all these games.
Yeah.
You got, San Francisco
Mhm.
and, whether Purdy can do it, what would have happened last year. He's not hurt now. You got Detroit, never been there.
Right.
The whole city is behind them.
State.
Michigan, I mean, the whole state, yeah. Michigan won the
Yeah,
football
Yep,
championship
yep.
in college. Detroit Pistons should be the worst team in the history of NBA, so we won't talk about
So
them.
they're celebrating that.
Yeah. But so Detroit's got a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So they got that storyline. Baltimore, you got
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson trying to, quiet all his critics.
Yeah.
And defend his MVP that he's about to
Yeah.
get.
You're gonna get it.
And then you got Mahomes and them just keeping that dynasty
That's a
going.
standard over there.
He's saying,
At this point.
See, that's the thing, right? In order for a new king to step up, an old king gotta die.
yeah,
And I think that they're approaching that precipice, right? Because I mean, think of, you can only fly so high for so long.
you think the Chiefs?
Yeah, I mean, because they're not, again, this is kind of off topic, but they're not investing in receivers. Right? Look at the receivers they got.
Well, I wouldn't say they're not investing. They had good receivers until they lost what they lost last time.
They lost Hardman. They lost
Hill.
Hill.
Well, that's because they didn't want to pay.
No, they didn't want money.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Tariq,
Yeah.
number one, he wanted to go to Miami and he got bank, right?
$100 million.
They're thinking, and again, we'll have to see
Hmm.
the guys that we put in. These dudes aren't bums. They just didn't play great. They had some drops, but they're playing a lot better. And you got the GOAT level quarterback. And so that's what they're banking on. And he got a GOAT level tight end.
But then that tight end's 35. So that's what I'm talking about when I say when they hit the precipice. Okay, how many Jason Kelce's are there?
Not very many.
Not many. And when they don't have one on the team right now, Jason decides to retire. So again, that's a matchup nightmare. I don't care who you are. That's a matchup nightmare. He can pivot in. He's like a
Oh, yeah.
big, fast version of another receiver.
Yeah.
Except he's big, huge. So, and he's got the Swifties on his side. But
Yeah.
We talking about Kelsey, right?
Chelsea. So you got the Swifties on his side. They're probably writing a script for this game. But like I said, so I think, in my opinion, I think it's going to be a tight game, and I really think if they're with the last possession, they can't give the ball back
Oh,
to Mahomes.
Yeah.
They have to milk the clock out with 1 second and kick a field
Yeah.
goal in it.
they got to either be just steamroll mode.
Yeah,
Because, yeah, you're right. If it's a close game,
close game.
it's hard to bet against Mahomes.
It is.
So
really is.
with these quarterbacks, and we're
Mhm.
talking about things that could happen.
Yeah.
If it's a close game, based off all the quarterbacks, so we got Lamar, Mahomes, Purdy, Goff.
Yeah.
If there was a situation to where somebody needed to score, how much time can you not give any of these quarterbacks
You can't give Mahomes
for them to
more.
come back?
Mahomes,
Let's
is
go with
the-
Lamar first. Let's go with Lamar first.
Lamar.
see, Lamar, to me, that's not his strong suit,
That's not
right?
a forte.
Okay.
That offense is going to run the ball. He's going to run the ball. He's going to they're going to hit big plays.
Mhm.
But I don't know that I've seen them do that, come from behind. You got 2 minutes,
Yeah,
you
they
got to drive the length of the field, score. Mahomes
does
has
it
done
all
it
the time.
and does it all the
How
time.
much time can you not give Mahomes on a clock?
Man, he's done it. What he
Because
did.
we talk about,
It was a
like,
minute. It was a
No,
minute.
you-
No,
in order-
42 seconds.
In order for you to not, hold up, but no timeouts, he can't have any timeouts. All right, in order for you to do that, you'd have to give the ball to Mahomes with like 4 seconds left on the clock. I mean a little ridiculous, but I would say it would have to be under 29 seconds.
If he's got under 2 minutes, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
I mean, if
It
he's got
needs to
2
be-
minutes,
if he got to make.
you know,
like I said,
you're in trouble.
like I said, for him, it needs to be literally like under 30 seconds with no timeouts, and you gotta make them throw to the middle of the field.
Yeah. And then just in
You
the tackle.
got to.
Yeah.
And you gotta make them throw tight ones to the middle, but give them the middle, make a tackle.
Yeah.
Cause that's just 2 plays, cause they gotta run up and spike it.
Mhm.
If you give him more than a minute with 1 timeout,
Yeah.
you down by 3.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you
oh,
got to have pressure.
yep,
You got to
can't
be able to get him off it. I mean,
off
it's
the
just,
spot.
it's tough,
You gotta
man.
make them run.
What about Purdy?
Purdy? I haven't seen him do that. Like I
They're,
said,
they're
I mean, like
another,
last game, he had that little.
No, but see, they
no,
weren't,
different.
okay, it wasn't, okay, you gotta remember the flow of the game.
Right.
Right, going into the 4th quarter, they were down by, what, 7? They scored, or no, they were down by 4, because they scored a touchdown and it won the game. And again, Purdy was not playing well, so it was
Was
getting
not.
tight. But it wasn't into that 3-minute window where you're going, if we don't score, we ain't getting the goal back.
yeah.
See, because they got that opportunity. Once they scored, And once he threw the pick, the game was over.
Yeah.
He didn't have to, all he had to do was go out there and be like, yeah, my defense has got this. So, you know, and I haven't seen Purdy in pressure situations where it's the end of the game and it's all riding on his arm, not McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Not, it's his arm. He's got to make the throw to like Joe Montana. Oh, guys, you know, especially, yeah, I'm going way back again, when they were playing the Cincinnati Bengals and they were down, and Joe, I literally, he was like, yeah, I got in the huddle. I was like, are you guys ready to win this? Let's go win this. Right? Less than 2 minutes left. They drive down the field. They leave 2 seconds on the clock. They kick a field goal. They Super Bowl champs. I haven't seen Purdy do that.
And, you know, his offense isn't push the ball down the field, right?
It's all
It's
underneath
quick
routes
throws and underneath routes
those little-
and
yeah.
guys breaking tackles
Yeah.
and going
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
Um,
Golf just doesn't need to be golf.
Goff is another like just solid dude
Yeah.
that if the offense is running great, they're gonna just be methodical. But if you're down 4 with a minute and 12 seconds to go and no timeouts, Mahomes is the guy you want.
Yeah.
These other guys, it's hard to tell.
Yeah,
Okay.
think
Really
about
hard
it.
to tell.
Okay, look at the Dallas game. What did golf do when the pressure on it? Because they should have won that game. We got bailed out. They should have won that game.
Eh,
No, think about it. In the fourth quarter, when it got tight, what did he go do? A pick.
well, but I mean, you throw picks because you're pushing the ball down the field when you're
No,
behind.
this was literally a 10-yard out. And he threw the ball where? When you throw an out ball, where do you throw it? You don't throw it here. You're supposed to throw it here. See, that's what I say about golf. Golf tends to have those moments like we used to have with Tony Romo. You know,
You used to have with Tony. How about have now with Dak?
well,
Man,
when I say Tony, I mean Tony was a gunslinger, per se. You know, you knew you're going to get a couple picks in the game because he was going to throw the ball. I don't care. If I saw people, I'm throwing it to you. So, you know, so when I say golf being golf is going to give the ball away at least once in this game. And the question is that he needs to do it early because he can't do it late. He does it late.
Let's
Learn
go.
it.
So
I
let's
hope we have 2 good
I
games.
think it's going to be a good game.
I want a good
I
game.
think it's going to be good. I think
yeah, what's the prediction, Alan? What's the prediction?
I want, okay, this is just what I
Go first.
want. I really want Baltimore to win because again, I'm rooting for Lamar. You know, I think this is his time, his season, and I think this is where he gets the monkey off his back. You know, the defense is playing exceptionally well. They match up well against Kansas City, and they're playing in Baltimore. So they got to take that to their advantage. So I'm going to go 24-21 Baltimore. Because I don't think it's going to be a blowout. If it's a blowout, it would be amazing to me. You know, then for
49ers,
the
Detroit.
49ers, I think the 49ers are going to win. You know, I think it's going to be maybe 30-28.
A scoring game.
Yeah,
Close game.
because I see the receivers running wild, and I see Detroit.
So you
Run
think
game.
that game is gonna be higher than Baltimore and Kansas City?
Yeah, I mean, because if you have Baltimore's defense is no joke.
Right.
You know, whereas the Niners defense is good, but their secondary is not as good as Baltimore's secondary. That's again, I always look at that because once Detroit, if Detroit gets that run game going, it's gonna be a long day. You know, and they've proven they can run the ball against some pretty good defenses. So that's not an issue. Because they got a pretty good O-line. You know, so like I said, there's only one guy in their secondary that's any good. Because if you look at last week's game, number 20 was getting eaten alive. They were picking on him like, "Oh, where's 20?
Yeah.
Where's 20?" And he was like, so and I think that was the nickel guy.
Okay.
So, you know, that's why I say it's going to be a little more high scoring. And their Detroit's defense is pretty much like that. They got a lot of high motor guys along their front 4, but they don't have that. Hutchinson is the only high motor guy. You know, as he goes, that defense goes because you don't know. I can't tell you who their linebacker is,
Right.
and I really can't tell you. I think they got one guy that's pretty good at. I don't know. They got the safety. No, they got Chunks Gardner.
Okay.
They got Garner at safety, and they got some pretty solid corners. But like I said, they've had the luxury of playing from ahead. You know, it's different when you're playing from ahead and when you're playing when it's tight.
No, that's definitely
But,
true.
yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I just got in my ear, from the head office in the NFL.
The
They're,
script says.
they're telling me that there's no way they're passing up a chance to get Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl.
Oh, God.
And so
The
therefore,
ratings.
so therefore, wait, what was that?
The ratings.
Yeah, yeah. So sorry, Lamar, but
Oh, man.
it's gonna be Chiefs 412, Baltimore 3. They're gonna take away Lamar's MVP, give it to Mahomes. And they're gonna give it, the player of the game is gonna be Kelsey, so they can bring Taylor down and present the award to him. So, yeah.
The Swifties are writing the script.
Yeah. I just got it. It's down. So, they're not passing this chance up. We don't know how long this relationship is gonna last,
Yep.
so they're gonna take advantage of it now.
Bringing a whole new
So-
audience.
As much as I hate it, Chiefs and with the upset,
Oh, man.
and then San Fran is gonna get to the final,
Okay.
and we got Battle of All Red
Oh, man.
in the Super Bowl.
Well, if that's the case, I think if that's the scenario in the Super Bowl, I think the Niners win it.
What's that I hear? Wait a minute. We've already decided what the final score of the Super Bowl is gonna be. Wait. Yeah, I'm hearing there's no way they can pass up having Taylor Swift on the field. Wait, what was this? Wait. Usher is no longer doing the halftime show. Taylor Swift is now doing the halftime show.
Okay, Usher, you just got fired.
Yeah, sorry, Usher.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
prefer Usher.
Yeah.
Just to watch it, I'm
Yeah.
just saying. But
Yeah, sorry.
You know.
Spoiler alert.
if the Swifties are writing the script, man, I don't know what to tell you.
I just ruined
Sorry.
it. Sorry.
Look, hey, look,
I just
hey,
ruined
can y'all write in a Dallas championship at some point?
Yeah, well, what we need is to, so when
He can't date
Kelsey
his dumb.
and Taylor break up, we need Dak
We can't date Dak. Dak's got a baby mama.
again.
He said we don't. Again.
Listen, we don't care about any of that. We need, because America's not going for CD. Can't do that.
No, we can't do
It's Dak
Yeah.
and Taylor.
Yeah.
I'll introduce you later. If things don't work out, that's the way it's gonna go down. But yeah,
Look, y'all do that. Look, I swear, if the Swifties write in a Dallas Cowboy championship, I will buy all her stuff. I promise.
all right. Okay, well,
I promise.
sorry to ruin the ending today for y'all, but next week when we come together, we'll see how accurate my information that I just got was. I don't think that was supposed to be released, but I just ruined it. So hope you watch anyway, because they were doing it for ratings.
Oh, yeah.
But
So, speaking of that, there's speaking of scripts in NFL, the new, what's next year's, Super Bowl what? I should know this.
I don't even know.
It's in Miami, but the label is silver and blue.
No way.
Yes. So everybody is now saying, guess who's going to the Super Bowl next year?
Are you serious?
It's like, oh, here
Wow.
we go.
Wow.
Look at
Yeah.
look it up. It's the label
Yeah.
is the silver. It's like what is it? Super Bowl next year, whatever. Miami. I don't even know.
Wow, that's
go.
crazy. That's crazy. I think we might need to drop it on that
Super
one.
Bowl in
We
2020.
we might need to leave it at that
Yeah.
so that we can
Cause see, they say,
not ruin it for everybody,
yeah,
because we've
okay,
already.
so this is
Oh,
this
yeah.
year's one, right? So it's
Yeah.
purple and red. So basically, based upon the purple and red, they're saying it's going to be the Ravens and the
49ers.
49ers.
Oh, because that's crazy.
Then they said, it's a 2025.
Yo, that's crazy. I never saw that before. But it can be, oh, wow, that's crazy.
See, that's New Orleans. See, they said, that's, I don't, what's the one is this? This is like the one in New Orleans. That's not Miami. That is Miami. They were talking about the silver and the blue in the comp here. So I'm sitting here
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I'm gonna say
like,
that's a bit of a stretch.
I know. I was
Um,
like, what?
Yeah, I'm gonna call that one a stretch,
I'm
but
like, I don't think so.
yeah, I'm gonna call that one a bit of a stretch.
But we gonna see, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's a bit of a stretch.
Oh, my
But this
God.
one, this year's logo though really does have those two colors in it.
Yeah, so
So
I was like, so some guy I was watching on TikTok said,
Here it is.
yeah, is that the new one? Is that is that Miami? Yeah, see, that's the one in Miami. That's the old one. So yeah, that's what they're
Yeah.
saying, because they were saying the color scheme. They said
Wow.
color scheme.
Somebody needs to do the research on that and go back to all the logos
Yeah, that's what he did.
and compare.
He did. He went back to all the logos. So really, he just like, see, the color scheme matches the team.
That's
Just
crazy.
like,
That's
mm.
crazy.
I said, so you're trying to say the NFL scripted? Well, what's wrong with us?
Yeah, that's
Here it
crazy.
is.
That's crazy. Well, we got a good game of football ahead of us, gentlemen.
Dude,
That's right.
I think that'll wrap up episode 3.
That's right.
Hopefully, next week we'll be back. And
episode
have some
4.
Wait, 4?
Yeah, it'll be episode 4. This is episode
Oh,
4.
yeah, this is 3.
Episode
Yeah,
3 next week.
yeah.
It's
Math
okay,
is not,
guys.
math isn't my.
Alan, AJ seems to work at ESPN sometimes, so he doesn't know where he is.
Yeah. no.
Well, yeah, yeah, math isn't one of my strong.
So math ain't math, and man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, remember to like, share, subscribe, leave comments. Like I said, let us know how we're doing, what we're doing. And again, we'll try to get back to you in all the comment section. Again, we want to thank you for your time. Remember, this was who? We
AJ,
got who?
Jay.
We got A-Dub. And again, we want to thank you for your time. Like, share, subscribe, share with your family members so we get this channel popping. All right, enjoy, everybody.
Peace out.